Hi traders, welcome to Elite Currency. My name is Chris. Today's focus is on Bitcoin and what kind of target could be for the uptrend possible, and can it even go beyond that target? That's our focus of this video. All right, earlier this week we were talking about potential head and shoulders at this level right here. This being the left shoulder, this being the head, and this being the right shoulder. And indeed that pattern playing out on Bitcoin, and you can see the price broke the neckline here and made a correction lower about $400, as you can see. So even these reversal chart patterns nicely playing out on Bitcoin this time around. But how far can this uptrend go? Because of course, if we zoom out to daily/weekly trend or time frame, we see a huge uptrend. We see it rise all the way from earlier this year, actually still being at around 800, and now adding a zero being around 8,000. So that's a pretty hefty uptrend, of course. This is what wave traders would probably consider a wave 3. Now, it's difficult, of course, because this instrument is pretty new and it's pretty uncharted territory here. So it is not like a forex currency where price has a range and it's kind of making wave patterns in that range. So there's more clarity. I think there's a little bit more support and resistance and more structure. Here we just have limited data. We have a small upside, big correction, and a massive upside, right? From this point of view, it's difficult to kind of estimate how far it can go. But considering the power and momentum that we've seen in here, it is, from this point of view, likely, when we use the same kind of ideas that we use in technical analysis and apply it to this momentum is strong. So, and should see follow through and continuation. So any kind of corrections like this should see follow through. The only time where typically you would see some kind of big retracement occur is when there is some kind of divergence appearing. Not necessarily on this weekly time frame, but even on lower time frames. So the weekly definitely doesn't have divergence, of course. And from this point of view, the weekly chart was not going to help us that much. We will have to take a look probably at the daily. Even here, we don't really see much divergence as yet. So from this point of view, we just see wave 1, 2, wave 1, 2, and this could be a wave 3. So for the moment, I would probably put a fib from here to here, right? And what could happen is that eventually round levels like 10,000 could hold price and stop price, right? 10,000. So what we could see is maybe a push to 10,000 or close to it, and then a correction, I would say, easily from this particular low to that particular high. And we're talking about a move from 3 to about 10K. So the difference is about 7K. That moment, we can expect a correction, maybe 50%, maybe 38.2 fib, which is about 3,500 dip, is a 50%. 38.2 fib is around, well, it's probably around 2,500. So we can expect price to fall back to around the 6.5 to 7.5K after it hits 10,000. All right, that's my my estimate at this moment, using round levels, looking at this momentum, right? So this momentum will probably push a little bit further, then make a correction of a wave 4. We would see probably some kind of corrective pattern, I would assume, finally, that maybe lasts a little bit more than these particular periods here. And looking at these periods, we saw corrections for a month, and here maybe for 20 days, and here maybe for 10 days. I think that at one moment we might see a correction that lasts a bit longer than that, maybe 2-3 months, for instance, right? So difficult maybe to imagine right now after such a big bull run, but that could happen. It doesn't mean that the trend is over though. After those 2-3 months corrections and price gets back to 7,000, it's actually setting itself up for the next run up, which could be, in this case, if this is the start of the wave 3, this could be wave 1, 2, this would be 3, 4, and up we go for 5. That doesn't finish the uptrend necessarily, right? Because this could be a bigger wave 1, 2, 3, like this. And of course, there could be extensions. Now, I'm not saying that this Bitcoin necessarily has to grow forever, but for the moment, the momentum is on its side. And unless we see patterns like this, where price makes slow upside and is running out of steam, and then kind of make head and shoulders patterns, and starts to kind of decline like this and turn, the uptrend doesn't really seem likely to stop at this moment. That could change, of course. You never know a few months from now, right? How the market patterns change. For the moment though, a continuation to 10,000, then a dip to 7.5, 6.5, and a continuation higher is likely. How high? Well, if we consider that the move up from 3 to 10 is about 7K, and this move up is about 2.5K. Well, we can consider that easily. Well, not easily, but a realistic target could easily be 15K in my view, right? Because we got 10K down to 7.5, 6.5, and then an upside again to 15. All right. Now, whether price continues much above that, whether it goes to 100K, 1 million K, and stuff like that, it's difficult to tell based on what we have here. But I think 10 psychological levels, 10, 15, maybe even an extension to 20 would not seem so strange considering the current momentum. All right, so let's see in the next 6 months how this plays out, but this is my roadmap for the moment. Cheers and good trading.